Welcome to Dreadful Digest, where we look at your favorite horror novels and rip apart their adaptations. I'm one of your hosts, Tessa Nelson.
I'm Sam.
And today we are looking at The Long Walk, or as somebody in our comments called it, The Long Goon. Which is very accurate.
You know, for the book, yeah.
Yeah. The book is maybe one of the most horny Stephen King novels we've read.
I think that's a really good way to describe it.
Yeah, we should do a rank, actually.
Let's rank.
I'm not going to add it to our rankings, but yeah. So we're covering The Long Walk today. It is out in theaters. It's based on a Stephen King novel of the same name. Sam, were you familiar with this book or movie beforehand?
No, and I don't think I needed to be.
Okay. Well, the podcast has a little bit of a history with it, actually. We do.
Okay.
So a few months ago, we...
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. With the movie.
Yes, with the movie. So Mark Hamill posted on Instagram the poster of The Long Walk. And this was the first time I was hearing about it. So in my brain, I was like, God, another Stephen King novel that we have to cover. And so I reshared the poster, his post, onto our story. And with the text, I said, God damn it. With the crying emoji.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, Mark Hamill himself looked at our Instagram story and read that. So...
And doesn't that just warm your heart?
I'm so sorry, Mark Hamill.
So hi, Mark. Your seat's open whenever you want to join us.
Yes, please do.
Assuming, the text is coming in any day, but we'll wait up for your message.
Yeah. So that's kind of our history with the Long Walk. But my personal history is that I tried reading this in high school, and I didn't get very far.
I bet you didn't.
Yeah, I was, it just didn't vibe with me at the time, and so I DNF'd it, and which is weird, because now I like it, but we'll get into that in our non-spoiler review. So, did you want to jump into yours?
Yeah, sure.
I think we might have opposing opinions.
Which
is a regular thing at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just disagree about it.
Yeah.
and I know we're gonna disagree about our next episode, but I'm not gonna comment on that. We'll save that for later. But non-spoiler review. It's just like, what if? Okay, and I say this with all the love in my heart because I actually do have a lot of good things to say about this movie and book that we'll get into. But for the sake of comedy, what if The Hunger Games was boring?
Damn.
That's my non-spoiler review.
Okay.
Yours?
Well, I didn't find either boring, which is, for a book and a movie where people are literally just walking and talking, I was worried because a lot of Stephen King stuff is very fluffy and descriptive, and a lot of the times I'm like, please just cut it out. Cut it out. But in this book, I was like, I'm actually not bored. I actually wanted to pick up the book and read it and keep going back to it, and I was actually enjoying it. Of course, within every Stephen King novel, he loves being descriptive in the wrong ways in terms of how he describes women. He has to add a racial slur in every book he does, but, putting that aside, because I have to at this point.
Right, it's the only way to read them.
Yeah, literally. I actually really enjoyed the book, and I did enjoy the ending. And then the movie I just really loved. I saw it twice.
Wow.
I did. I saw it twice, and I really loved the actors and their bonds, and I think that carried a lot of the movie for me. So, thumbs up for both for me. Let's dive into the synopsis, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. This is basically a synopsis for both. The plot is pretty much the same. But anyway, in a dystopian United States ruled by a totalitarian regime, a group of young men enter an annual walking contest in which they must maintain a speed of at least, well, we'll get into that. They must maintain a certain speed or risk execution. The contest ends with only one walker remaining alive. So there is no end to the long walk. You just have to keep walking. which is a question my mom asked me in the middle of the movie. She's like, how long are they walking? I'm like, there is no
You're not going to
end.
believe this.
Believe it or not, they're going to just keep on walking. So yeah, that is the plot of both, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Diving into the research, the book came out in 1979. It's a dystopian horror novel by American writer Stephen King, but he wrote it under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. Now, this was a series of books that he published under this name, which were kind of just like, he wanted to see, you know, how people would react to these stories without having his name. Like, he just wanted, like, you know, unfiltered opinions. But so The Long Walk was the first novel that he ever wrote at 19. He began it in 1966 through 1967 when he was just 19 years old. And it was 8 years before his first published novel, Carrie. King envisioned this book as a metaphor for the Vietnam War. So, you know, at that time when he's going to school, going to university, like, his peers were very fearful of getting drafted, and you could definitely read that in this story. Several adaptations were in development for this book throughout the years, but they never came to fruition, including like in 1988, George A. Romero was approached to direct the film adaptation, but it never happened. There was also plans in 2007 with Frank Darabont, like he secured the rights to the film, and he planned to make like a low budget, quote, weird, existential, and very contained story. And those plans fell through as well. So that's my research for the book itself. As for the film, it came out this year, 2025. You can go see it in theaters.
It'll still be in theaters.
It'll be out in it. Yeah, it'll be out. It's directed and co-produced by Francis Lawrence, who worked on several of the Hunger Games movies. The screenplay was done by J.T. Molnar. I'm saying that right?
I think.
Okay. I was like, you seem to have
No.
some. Okay. You don't want to dive into anything?
No.
Okay. So he did Strange Darling. That was the only thing I recognized. The film stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Ben Wang, Judy Greer, Mark Hamill, among other incredible actors, up-and-coming actors. Did you know that Cooper Hoffman is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son?
Yeah, I watched Licorice Pizza. Yes,
okay, I didn't know. This is my first.
He also looks like him.
I know, it's crazy. This is my first time watching one of his movies.
Oh,
I
really?
had no idea.
You didn't see Licorice Pizza?
I started watching it after this, but I only got halfway through.
Oh, okay.
So for the film, Stephen King himself had to approve each of these castings.
After The Shining, he just does not let something get away from him, does he? He just after that one, he's like, no.
Like, you ruined
I'm
it
involved
for
in this.
everyone else.
Yeah. No creative license.
No, he has to approve the script. He has to approve the casting. Yeah. He had to approve the ending. They had to get that approved by him.
Well, that's reasonable because it is very different in a good way. That's interesting that he liked it. I wondered if he liked it.
Yeah, he did like it. As Francis Lawrence approached The Long Walk, he pushed hard for the movie to be rated R rather than have its violence watered down. He said, quote, "To be truthful to the book, it has to be violent, intense, sad. It has to be a tough watch." And I think he does it. I think he does that well.
Yeah, it's interesting to me when I was watching it, the things they decided to keep and the things that they decided obviously were too much. Because I might have chosen differently. But especially when it comes to the relationship between Garrity and McBreeze. But we did get to see that guy get shot while he's pooping. Thank goodness.
Spoiler alert.
Thank goodness we have that.
Happen. Yeah.
That was hard. That was a hard watch. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God, I feel bad for the actor. He's like, okay, you're the one that has to do this.
Listen, a gig's a gig.
Yeah.
I have to assume that's how you think about it, because otherwise I don't know.
Yeah, you just can't think about the logistics. Just like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Do you think he auditioned for that?
Poop Boy? Yeah, I'd like to audition for Poop Boy. Here are my headshots.
They're like, I don't know. Is it believable? Like, I'm not buying it.
Show us right now.
Right.
So Stephen King also had a condition for this movie being made, among many apparently, that they had to show blood. He complained about the lack of blood in Marvel movies, saying, quote, "If you're not going to show it, don't bother."
That's interesting because I honestly feel like there wasn't that much blood.
No, I mean, it was definitely shocking as like a viewer, watching these kids get killed. But a lot of it was like CGI blood.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it, like, maybe because I knew it was coming, hello.
Joy is on the set.
Yeah, Joy's on the set. Maybe because I knew it was happening, or like I knew it was coming. I just like didn't, when it happened, I was kind of like.
Yeah. I will say seeing it the first time, I was like, it made me on edge. Like it made me incredibly anxious. So I think the violence was successful in that regard. But as for like the blood itself, I don't really associate this movie with being that gory or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they did show it. So they followed his condition.
Thank goodness they did.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would be a movie about people having a conversation.
True. But I was here for the conversations. Those are my favorite parts. Anyway, so my last fact is that they shot this in chronological order. And they walked around 14 to 15 miles
because
per day.
I'm sure, because if I thought that Garrity was losing weight.
Yeah, no, that you could literally see
So
like
they must have been
transition. Yeah, from the beginning to the end. Like they look haggard by the end of this movie. But yeah, they walked 14 to 15 miles each shoot day. And I was listening to a podcast with Francis Lawrence, and he was saying that he also would walk back with them. So, like, while he was, like, on the moving camera truck or whatever, while they were shooting, he would then walk back with them to wherever they were starting. So, that's kind of cool.
That's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, he walked half of what they walked, but still, they walked almost as much as they do in the movie. So, like, 300 plus miles.
But they got to sit.
They got to sit.
It was,
like, over a course of 35 days. So,
right.
Definitely different than having to walk in 5 days.
Yeah.
Ready to dive into the main segment?
Of course I'm ready, Tessa. Let's get into it.
Do it. So going forward, there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So definitely check out the movie, check out the book if you don't want to be spoiled.
Or just watch the movie. That's also an option.
True. I do have a hard time saying read a Stephen King novel, especially if you aren't familiar.
Especially this one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, well, let's dive into it because...
The book?
I mean, I think we got to get it out of the way.
Sure.
I think this is one of my favorite Stephen King novels.
She was going to jump.
Explain for audio listeners why you just made that witchy sound.
Joy's about to jump on the couch.
You were like, yes.
She wants to be next to me. Come up here.
There she is.
Oh my God. I didn't know she was going to do that. What a good cat.
She's a very good cat. She listens half the time. Okay, so, like I said, maybe one of my favorite Stephen King novels. It's up there with, I think, Misery, Carrie, The Mist, in terms of, like, my enjoyment out of it. But you seem to have an opposing opinion.
Well, listen. If you're a 16-year-old boy, this is for you. And that's not even, like, that's not me being, like, facetious or whatever, like, I had conversations with men about this book who did read it when they were a teenager. They loved it. They had lots of positive memories reading this book. Me, 24-year-old woman, reading this book, sickened. I found. So
I have the mind of a 16-year-old boy, is what you're saying.
So listen, I was able to look at it from a removed sense as an adult and look at this and be like, okay, I believe that this is how 16-year-old boys think and talk to each other, and maybe did at the time that this book was written. And I can look at that separately from myself and be like, there's no problem with anything I'm reading. You know what I mean? Like, that has nothing to do with me. But is it an enjoyable read? No. Like, would I tell people, especially other women, to read this? No. And is there anything in this book that is not in other books that are similar in genre? No. So for that reason, it's like, do you want to read about 16-year-old boys like talking about I don't even know how, I don't know, like, the way that I'm struggling to, like, get into it is because I don't know what area to focus on. Like, there's so many different things about it.
Well, because they start losing it, like, throughout the book. And so I think it gets more weird as it goes on, is the best way I can put it.
Hey, I don't know about that.
Well,
I mean, Garrity
early
cheats on his
on,
girlfriend
he
in the
does.
first 5 pages of the book. And then he's like, oh, I got a girlfriend.
And then,
Which, it's fine. 16-year-old boys will be 16-year-old boys, of course. But
he's
it's like,
I'm about to die. I'm going to make out with this girl on the sidelines.
Who is a child, right? Canonically?
I mean,
because in the movie,
I thought she was about the same age. I don't know.
Well, but so I thought this was really interesting because in the movie they make note like, oh, that girl.
Oh
so,
yeah, in the movie they make a note like that's a kid, but in the book,
a 14-year-old.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they're like, oh, she's like pretty. I'm pretty sure they make no reference to the fact that she's like young, which is fine because he's 16. So if she's 14, that's not a big deal. But I think it's a really funny decision that in the movie they keep her 14 but make him 18 and do not have them ever interact. And
No,
I think that
he like barely looks at it.
purposely got rid of that moment.
Yeah.
Which changes the character.
He's very different. Yeah, I guess to get into it, all the characters are flawed throughout the book. It's the bond between Peter and Ray is much more, I don't know what the word would be. In the movie,
it's homoerotic in the book.
Well, 100%. Yeah. I mean, in both. I would say in both. Although the screenwriter would disagree.
See, and this is the thing. I think they make it very clear that McVrees is queer, right?
In which version?
The movie.
Okay, yeah.
And the book.
Yeah.
But in the book, Garrity is 100% closeted. Whereas in the movie, that is a straight man, right? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the Tumblrification of this movie. Like, there's going to be so many fanfics. I was like,
yes.
Oh, they're like looking into each other's eyes longingly.
Yes, but the straight men watch this and they're like, no, that's good friendship. And who are we to say that straight men can't have friends?
Hey, men need friends too.
Exactly.
But
so,
from a woman's perspective, when men have friends, you're like, wait a second.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
When you watch something like...
When men have friends, it's weird? Is that what you're trying to say?
When you're watching media
it's
and they're like very close.
Unrealistic.
You're like, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we're not used to seeing that.
That's not true. Men have friends.
I know that, but they're like...
And they can be close.
Let
men have close friendship. You see?
Let me finish.
Let men have friends. Tessa, why won't you let us?
Oh my God. I am just pointing out a flaw in society right now. When two men talk to each other and are actually nice to each other on screen, women will ship them. I fall into the same thing too. I'm just pointing it out. But I did, before seeing the movie, I was like, oh, McVrees is definitely into Ray, and Ray is kind of realizing, like, oh, maybe I am also gay.
Wait, I just want to talk about why, though, because we're talking about it, but I want to talk about it. In the book, Garrity, there's 2 key things about Garrity's sexuality that you, the viewer, need to know. Number 1, he had a questionable incident with his childhood friend that
I totally forgot about this.
This is one of the most important parts of his character that he got in really big trouble for with his mom, and I think that boy's mom as well, and he pushed it deep inside and was like, I'm never going to think about it again. What do we call that, ladies and gentlemen?
He got naked with his best friend.
Closeted.
Is what happened.
Right, and obviously they're kids, and like that's said that they're kids, and like I think he even is like, obviously nothing happened. We know this, but I mean, from what I hear from a lot of queer people is that, like, obviously, like, your sexuality is with you your whole life. And a lot of the time, childhood moments like that can be formative. So I think my interpretation of Stephen King's, intention with that is that he is closeted. Otherwise, why bring it up, And
then he keeps bringing up the fact, like, everybody's calling Ray queer. Like, McVrees jokes about jerking each other off.
The second key thing about Ray Garrity's sexuality that you need to know
on the nose.
is that he is Freudian. And a lot of the boys also make fun of him for this. They're like, oh, you have a crush on your mom, Garrity? Remember this in the book?
Yeah, but he's like, okay, I was like, didn't he mention like, oh, well, every boy wants to marry their mom because they don't know.
Boys, can you please answer this in the comments?
this a
Do you
thing?
want to marry your moms when you're kids? No! Our resident boy said no. So I just want it on the record when we you know, this is
That's what
important
Ray
to
said.
me.
I don't know.
This is important
I'm
to
not
me.
a boy.
So, but that's in the book, right? And the other key things about sexuality in the book, McVree's, how does he get his scar? Completely different way in the movie, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, I don't even know if I can say it on the pod.
How he got a scar?
Yeah.
I was going to get into it later on. Yeah.
Well, point is that McVree's is not a straight shot gay man himself in the book, based on his own description of sexual urges, but because of the context of the walk, this is how I understand it to be. It's like their feelings are inflated a little bit more. And in the movie, however, like McVree's, I feel like is very obviously queer. All the boys are making fun of him for it, and like that's one thing. But he also specifically says, "I don't have a girlfriend. Like I don't have a girl.
I don't have a lady
so like
friend."
you know they're that man is gay.
And he like looks at Ray.
Yeah,
the way he just looks at him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously McVree's is, but you know, who's to say? I don't know. It's one of those weird things where I'm like, because they kept it vague, I don't want to come in there and be like, they're gay, and then I also don't want to be like, no, they're definitely not gay. It's just kind of like, I don't know, but they obviously purposefully did not include a lot of the queer stuff that is in the book to keep it ambiguous. So that's a creative decision.
I think it was a good move to not copy a lot of the stuff in the book. But I think,
but that's some of the stuff that gives it the most verve. Like if that was in the movie, I feel it would have brought it.
It wouldn't have this. I think more people would dislike it. Is the problem? I think a lot more people would. I mean, there's a lot of people that like general audiences complaining about not understanding the ending, which I think the ending's very obvious what happened.
That's guys.
But it's like
crazy.
Already it's shocking enough for normal people to watch kids get killed on screen.
But they're
and then
not
adding
even kids. They changed it to be 18 and older in the movie.
Yeah, but it's still
LOL,
jarring.
that's a crazy thing for me to say.
It's still jarring.
They are kids. I view 18-year-olds as kids, but...
And then if you have these two boys talking about jerking each other off, then people would probably be like, what the hell is this movie?
But this is my thing, is like, in the context of the movie, they're 18. It's actually weirder for them to be 16 and talking about that. So the changes that they make for the movie, I think they could have done something with it and did not. No moral judgment on that. Obviously, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But it's a huge... And to me, this is important. Okay, I'm going to say stuff that I don't know if it's historically accurate, but since we're talking about Vietnam and we're talking about soldiers and their experiences when they're at war, this kind of like bond, you know, between two men in the context of like something horrific like war where they were both drafted into it, and you know, that blurred lineness, I imagine is, you know, a really specific experience that, you know, and the movie really leans into the Vietnam War metaphor. So I would think that they would have, you know, had something to chew on with that, and they did not. It's crazy to me that that's, I don't know. It seems like it's so important.
Their sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is watching an interview with the screenwriter, the interviewees were literally pointing out to him like, oh, we definitely see people shipping Peter and Ray. And even when the book came out, people were shipping them. And they're like pointing this out to the writer. And he's like, I didn't see that.
This is my whole thing about men and like male friendships. If we impose sexuality on, you know, male friendships because they're close, then, you know, well, I don't know. This is just a can of worms. But it's like, you know,
like we're also part of the problem.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But also in the book, it's very explicitly that they are gay. So like, you know, but it just makes it difficult to define.
I think I am fine with it being more ambiguous in the film. I think you got to make ticket sales. And so if that's kind of what you have to do, then for me, I'm like, okay, them just like looking at each other longingly is enough. And him literally saying, I love you at the end, I think is enough for me.
Listen, fellas, can you not tell your homie that you love him these days? What's going on? I don't know, but I don't know. But you're right. There's nothing wrong with focusing on Elaine. And I felt that the movie, just to bring it a little bit more broad so we can like get back on track,
Right.
the movie really leans into the Vietnam War metaphor. I honestly felt like the book, you can use the Long Walk as a metaphor for a lot of things in the book, but I felt like in the movie they punched that Vietnam War message like really hard. And so so you want to focus on war and you want to focus on what happens to a country
Financial
around war.
insecurity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and that's something
That's
that
a big difference.
Yes, that's not mentioned in the book. So it's like, okay, like you give and you take and you give and you take. And what do I know? What do I know? I just watched it.
Well, let's dive into the differences officially.
I thought we were in the differences. Okay, my bad.
Let's go knock them out one by one.
Yeah.
So off the get, we start with in the movie, there's only 50 participants versus 100 in the book.
Because they were like, we need this movie to not be 3 hours.
Right. 100 extras would be insane. Now, in the film, they say that each person represents a state. So 50 people, 50 states. And Garrity represents Maine, Maine's own. And that stays consistent in the book as well. Now, another big change that people have been noting a lot online is the fact that they changed it from 4 miles per hour as the walking speed to 3 miles per hour, which was a good change. I don't think Stephen King knew how fast and ridiculous 4 miles per hour
So here's
is.
a question. When I'm on a treadmill, anybody can answer this in the room. When I'm on a treadmill and it says 3, is that because I'm walking 3 miles per hour?
I think so.
I'm trying to personally understand right now how fast
That might be.
3 to 4 is. You know what I mean? But 4 is fast.
No, that's crazy. Because
That's like...
Yeah. Somebody on TikTok I saw was reading The Long Walk while trying to walk 4 miles per hour on a treadmill, and it's like, no, it's too much.
That's
too
funny.
much. So I think 3 miles per hour, good change.
Yeah, realistic.
So in the movie, we get this opening that basically explains like there was a war that created mass poverty in the U.S., and The Long Walk is basically an event that's held every year, and it's filmed, and people watch it all throughout the country. It boosts morale and productivity amongst the people. Now, the book is more vague with the origins of The Long Walk and the country's politics. It kind of keeps that under wraps. But yeah, how did you feel about being so explicit and like the messaging in the movie?
I actually liked it because I felt like the movie was about war.
Yeah.
Whereas, as I said before, I feel like the book, you can use that metaphor to fit a lot of different rat races that people are in. I didn't feel like the whole process of the draft was as one-to-one in the book versus the movie for how an actual draft works. I mean, what do I know about a draft, actually, now that I'm saying?
Well, in this, it's
now,
like they weren't
like
drafted. They volunteer. In both versions, they volunteer.
Well, they're in the lottery. And there's a back out date in the book.
Well, yeah. Well, they all
There's
put their
not a
name.
back out date of the draft. You get drafted if your number's pulled, you know.
In no version they get drafted. And they volunteer.
Well, but it's a lottery system.
Yeah. They
'Cause
pick out
otherwise-
200 names of the
Otherwise,
people that
Garrity
volunteer.
would not be one of those walkers. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, okay, that's true. They do. It's a random.
That is how the draft works. It is a lottery, but the back out date thing, like, there's kind of a glory element to it in the book where it's like people want to do it. Well, I guess, but that is also how it works with war too.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one that chickens out because they pick out 200 names and then only 100 of them actually do it. But if somebody backs out, then a backup person will fill their spot.
Right, but like that's not how that works. IRL.
No,
Like, you wouldn't get to just be like, I
don't want to do it. No.
Yeah.
So are you saying you'd rather there wouldn't have been any backout date? Like once you sign up, then you're...
No preference. I just think that's evidence of the movie really leaning into the war. Because whereas the book, there's like extra rules for how this specific system works. In the movie, it's a standard draft lottery system.
Yeah, but they do have a backup date. He mentions at the beginning.
Oh.
He tells his mom.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
that's right. He does say it's like it's too late to back out.
Yeah, the backup date was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the book they describe like you do a writing test, you do physical tests and all this stuff to see if you're like even fit for this.
Right.
So there's more. It goes into a bit more detail on how it works, but yeah.
See, I'm honestly surprised, and this is my Hunger Games mind talking, but I'm honestly surprised more the boys didn't try to kill each other.
Well, that's one of the rules. They don't explain it in the movie, but in the
They're
book,
not
they're
allowed
like
to
you're
kill
not
each
allowed to mess each other up.
But they do.
Well, yeah,
But not enough.
that's true. I mean, they're allowed to like touch each other. Like they like obviously touch each other.
They're allowed to touch each other.
They obviously touch each other, but they're not allowed to like punch each other or trip each other. Like that's against the rules.
What about that one who like swings at the one?
He doesn't technically touch him. If he did touch him, then I think he would have been out.
He would have been shot or he would have been removed?
I think he would have been shot. I think he would have been shot.
That's the other thing too. Like, I want to talk about Garrity's dad, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Speaking of Ray, he has a girlfriend in the book.
Also,
like
we should just
Sam
say, like,
mentioned.
when I'm saying Garrity and she's saying Ray, it's the same
yeah.
person. It's
His name
Ray
is-
Garrity.
Ray Garrity.
Yeah, so just know that.
Yeah, he's their main character.
And when we say when I say McVries and you say Pete or Peter, we're talking about the same person.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's been, if anyone's listening to this who hasn't read it or watched it, that's going to be confusing. So
That's true.
anyway, continue.
My bad. But yeah, so Ray has a girlfriend in the book, and he plans on seeing her and his mom in Freeport,
When
which
he
is where he
remembers her.
lives. When it's
Justice for his
convenient for
girlfriend.
him.
Yeah.
He forgets that about her, and then he's like, oh wait, she's like, I love her, and she's my reason for existing, and I need to reach her.
Right.
And it's just like, that's his
He's
like
a little
one.
self-aware of it in the book, though. He's
Yeah.
like, isn't it silly how I didn't care about this woman 5 seconds ago, and now I will do anything to see her? That's like basically a line. I mean, I paraphrased it, but that's basically a line in the book.
Yeah, well, jumping a little bit forward to this moment when he does see them in the book, he rushes his girlfriend. I think he kisses her or hugs her. I can't remember. But he's basically focused on her, and then his mom is like standing next to her, and after this moment, Peter has to drag him off, right? And he's like, I don't even think I saw my mom. Like, she was in her coat. I remember seeing the coat, but
Right.
he feels bad for not even taking any time to see his mom.
Well, he does hate his mom.
The way
We
Stephen
didn't really
King
discuss that.
in the second page.
I saw that reel you posted about like POV and like you're Stephen King and you're writing women or whatever. Like, oh, it's true.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
people
true.
were commenting on our TikTok about that
Yeah.
specific moment because I remember reading it and second page about how he describes his mom. I'm like,
It's just
Come
like
on.
this woman is ugly, and then
She's
just,
ugly
like,
and
she's
thin.
ugly. She's mean. She's weird, and then but all of her lines are like, "Oh, I'm so worried about you, and I care about you." And he's like, "Oh, my stupid mom."
you know how he describes her boobs? He calls them token nubs.
That's horrifying, and I actually don't remember that. That's called
That's
your mind
seared
blocking things
into
out.
my brain.
Opposite reactions right here.
You blocked it out
yeah, I
from
don't
the
remember that at
trauma,
all.
and I was like, it's ingrained in me now. This is what happens when you read a Stephen King novel. It's
true.
These are the two phases that can happen to you.
It's true.
But yeah, so that's a little bit about his girlfriend. I want to talk about Stebbins.
Oh yes,
I want to talk about
I would love to talk about
my boy
Stebbins.
Stebbins and his purple little pants.
Oh, what purple pants? I didn't see any purple pants in the
No
movie.
purple pants in the
No
movie.
purple pants in the movie. But they did give him that weird little hat,
He did have a little weird hat, yeah.
which begs the question, what year is the fashion derived from?
I mean, I kind of like how ambiguous, like, we don't know what time period this is set in.
I sort of do.
It's a
But-
parallel universe, I guess.
I just think technologically, why is the camera that's broadcasting this a brick if this is the future?
Well, they don't have money, I guess.
The government
Everywhere-
doesn't have money?
That's true. Actually,
This is how
Yeah.
they make money. When the must be the thing. Whatever. I can't get into it all.
Somebody pointed out on TikTok, they were like, this must be the most boring show ever. It's just one camera pointed at people walking.
It's almost like this is the concept of the movie and the book. Following people walking. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Truman Show.
Well, okay. Let's dive in. Before we get into Stebbins, but that is like the Truman Show. But you actually get to listen to what he's talking about. In this, it's like, do they have microphones on
exactly.
them?
How
Like,
does
can
this
you
work?
hear what they're talking about? But yeah, so in the...
If you can, by the way, bizarre.
Hearing them talk.
Freaks.
Yeah, who would be watching? I don't know. They've got nothing else
16-year-olds.
going on. Yeah.
In the book.
Yeah, so in the book, they actually do have crowds that are allowed to pop up and watch them, and it is kind of like it's very unnerving, like being in Ray's mindset where he's like, there's just crowds screaming on all sides, and like he's
Major
slowly
difference.
He's slowly going insane. Meanwhile, in the film, they only have people at the last leg of the walk, and it makes sense from a financial decision. You don't want a bunch of extras all the time.
I guess
but yeah.
so, but I did kind of feel like it's a little weird that there's nobody in any of these areas.
Yeah, even the town in Freeport, there's just the mom.
Which I thought was odd. To be honest, like, I'm not going to say that was bad. I'm just going to say, like, I didn't understand that. Like, because just logically, why would she go there if nobody else is there? And if she's there, why isn't she anywhere? You know what I mean? But, like, anyway.
Yeah, I think they should have had more crowds when they pass through cities.
For example, that 14-year-old girl with that poster that we were
She's
talking
the
about at the
only
beginning of this. Why is she alone?
Yeah,
What's
kind of weird.
going on? Like, and so it's just, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, I think maybe it could be a financial decision not to get more extras, or it could be a stylistic choice. Because I mean, some of it works, like with the creepy woman at the church. But
Sure.
Some of it does feel kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stebbins.
So
Stebbins in the book, I would describe as more of a cryptic character. He's
scary in the book.
He's weird. He says very strange things that you're like, why would a 16-year-old be saying this? He gets on Ray's nerves quite a bit. Now, they kind of cut all that. So when Ray, like, gets mad at him in the film when he blows up on him, I'm like, where's this coming from? Because you guys were barely talking to each other.
Also, I would like to add another thing, which is that in the book, okay, I might be wrong about this actually, but in the book, I'm pretty sure he is like one of the last people walking, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the second to last.
Very purposely, he like paces himself significantly more. In the movie, he's right behind them, and they're like smack dab in the middle of the group.
He's always the last one in the group in the book. Yeah.
Which matters because of something we're about to talk about, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish they kept those elements of him because, yeah, he just feels like kind of one of the boys in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I really he literally is described as like a Cheshire cat. Like,
yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, he's like, Ray's like, why do I even bother talking to you? You're like fog or smoke or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He says that line in the film, but it doesn't hit as much as it does in the book because, like, yeah, he says just weird things.
Well, and also there's like, aren't there moments where it's in the book they're walking and it sounds like somebody said something behind and then they turn around and there's no, like, you can't tell that it was him and it's like, who said that? You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's a few little moments where it's like,
he makes no reaction.
Yeah.
He also, like, Ray's kind of freaked out because he's like, I'm not seeing anything wrong with him, like no weaknesses.
Right.
He seems like he could walk forever.
He maintains his weird little pace.
Yeah.
He's eating his little sandwiches.
Yeah, the only like weakness he starts showing later on is that he gets like a slight limp. He does not get sick. We'll get into that. But yeah, he just seems like such an abnormality.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the sickness. We do need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because this was my issue with him getting sick also is like,
we can dive into it. We can get into it now.
Okay, like, I just feel like the character that gets sick in the book is completely different.
Yeah.
It's a character who's not in the movie. It's a character who's not even mentioned in the movie.
No, so he's completely not in the movie. His name is Scram.
They give attributes of his character to other boys in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of those key things is that he has a wife who is pregnant. Yes, he is 16. He has a wife who is also 16, who is pregnant. And the reason he wants to win the long walk is because with his wish, he wants to provide education for his future child. So there's this big, like, not sob story, but like, you know, that particular walker has a really big purpose. The other thing that's really interesting about him is I feel like the other characters, you don't really get a sense of the betting that's going on across the country. But with Scram, he makes specific note, like, I'm the favorite to Nevada. Like, doesn't he say? He's like, my odds are in my favor to win according to Las Vegas. Like, I'm going to win this.
Yeah,
and
because he's like a bulky guy. He's muscular. Like, he seems like he's very athletic.
Right. And there's not really mention of the sports betting in the movie.
No.
But I thought it was interesting in the book because I'm like, that is kind of a modern thing now. The whole sports betting angle and like betting on specific people. And also in the book, there's a little bit of fear around that because like Las Vegas bet on Scram to win and then he gets pneumonia and he dies. And then obviously that whole thing about the boys being like, we'll do something for his wife. They keep that. But who do they give that to?
They give that to Hank, which seems very weird.
Which one's Hank?
What's his Ben Wang's character? He's like the one with the gum. Hank Olsen.
Odd.
Yeah, it did kind of come out of nowhere. They're like, oh, he had a wife, and it's like, this guy has a wife who was talking about wanting 10 naked ladies? Okay.
I totally forgot about that.
That's what he wants with his prize, is 10 naked ladies. It's
right.
Like, all right.
Right.
I know you're joking, but still,
right.
It's funny.
That's
so
true.
They do give Scram's attributes to Hank, and then also to Stebbins. Stebbins is the one that gets sick,
which is wrong. I have to say it's wrong because no. Sorry, I don't have like a full stop no for a lot of the things that happen in the course of this book / movie, but for that I go no. Come on, you know why I know that he doesn't get sick, you guys? Because he wouldn't allow that to happen. There's no way. Scram could easily happen. He gets pneumonia, he gets sick.
I mean,
Stebbins would not allow that to happen.
I haven't gotten sick in 10 years, and of course I get sick now, is what Scram says.
Whatever.
And with Stebbins, I didn't mind it because I feel like the way he dies in the book is kind of whatever. It's like he literally like grabs at Ray's shirt and then falls down and dies, and it's like, okay, that's how the book ends.
Here's the question of the hour when it comes to Stebbins, which everyone I say this to thinks I'm insane, I guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Sorry, everybody. Do you think he's the Major's son?
I think so.
Everyone says that. I think he's wrong. I think he's not the Major's son.
But the Major, at least in the movie, is like, good luck, son. That's the only time he says anything to any other character.
I believe that's because J.T. Molnar believes that Stebbins is his son. But based on the book alone, I don't think he's the Major's son. I think he's just a kid who doesn't have a dad, who puts together these pieces that the Major must be his father. But I think that it's completely misguided. Okay. And I thought that was kind of a, maybe not criticism, but like, head nod to just patriarchy in general and kind of seeing a father figure or like, something to turn your head upward to in a fascist state.
I could see that.
And so to me, it was important that he's not the Major's son. So because the movie seemed to believe that he is the Major's son, boring. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot more interesting if he is just deluded.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he does seem deluded through the rest of it.
Yeah.
He has this whole thing in both versions where he's talking about being the rabbit.
The mechanical rabbit.
Which in the
I literally
movie
wrote that down in my notes. I was like, what?
The movie does not make sense. The book, him talking about that makes more sense in the book because there's this whole thing where like Ray is comparing him to the Cheshire Cat. He's bringing up Alice in Wonderland, all this stuff. And then Stebbins goes, no, I'm the rabbit. And then he goes into like, oh, I'm the rabbit that you guys are the dogs are chasing. You guys are chasing me.
Yeah.
I'm always one step ahead. It made way more sense in the context of the book and like what they were talking about. Like he's not only the white rabbit, he is the rabbit that the dogs chase, that the people chase. Him bringing that up out of nowhere in the film made no sense to me.
It's one of those moments where it's like it's very obviously a very it's one of those moments in the movie where it's like, okay, this is obviously a memorable, important beat in the book. How are we going to incorporate this? We can't get rid of this because it's very important. So just figure out a way to get it in there. But it's like, it's not.
Just stuff it in there, even though it doesn't make sense.
It's lacking the exterior fluff.
Yeah. I was a bit disappointed with Stepan's character in the film, for sure.
I also just felt like, so I thought the actor was good. I don't know what your name is, sir. I don't know what his name was.
Yeah.
But I thought he was good. But the image in my mind
Was
of
not
what
that.
I didn't think he was tall. I didn't think he was lean. Didn't think he was blonde. Didn't think he had a pretty boy face. Nothing about that casting decision to me made sense. Stephen King, apparently you're right about this, so what do I know? But
He's right about all. We cannot question him.
I just don't believe
He is our Lord and Savior.
You know why they didn't put that man in purple pants? Because that man would never wear purple pants.
I could see him in purple pants. I could see him. I could see him in purple pants with his little hat.
Me saying so emphatically, he would never. And you're like, yeah, I would. I just think that actor, no. And that's why they didn't put him in purple pants. But if you got an actor that would wear purple pants,
that's the one criteria. You must look good in purple pants.
Not even look good. You must look like you
audition.
would want to wear purple pants. It's a specific type of person. I don't personally own any purple pants.
I can't say that I do either. All right.
Drop in the comments if you own purple pants. Who's right about this? Settle this debate.
Does the actor who plays Steven look like
he would own purple pants?
Wear purple pants, yeah. All right. Another thing that's kind of excluded from the film is the fact that McFreeze has like major beef with Barkovich. Like they are constantly just butting heads in the book.
Yeah, they kind of distribute the beef evenly, I feel. Like nobody seems to like Barkovich.
No.
Which, by the way, just to sing my praises real quick, actor of Barkovich, sorry, I don't know your name, one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Great.
Awesome.
He is so good at
Hope you get
playing
cast in
that
a lot of stuff after
character.
this. Good job.
I think the addition of Barkovich in the book really shows that like McFreeze is also flawed. I feel like in the film they tried to paint him out as like this hopeful figure that like keeps Ray on the right track. But in the book, he also is like...
He has verve. He is an evil man.
Yeah, he's also got crazy stuff going on.
He's also passive-aggressive in the book, I feel, a lot of the time. Like,
Yeah.
And they describe that in the book, that he's like... He's antagonizing.
Yeah,
and like
he's constantly up,
Yeah.
like behind Barkovich, just like glaring at him, like I'm going to outlive this guy. Like
Yeah.
he hates him.
Is Barkovich the one with the whole thing about dancing on people's graves?
Yeah, which like I get hating him, but I feel like it's way more of a deal in the book.
How
with
did you feel
McFreeze.
about how Barkovich dies?
Okay, so in the book, Barkovich is described as just clawing at his throat. In the film, he stabs at his throat with a spoon.
Is it a spoon? I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, he was holding a spoon, and he just starts stabbing his throat.
It was, I can still visualize
pretty
it.
pretty gross. I was wondering, like, how do you claw at your throat? Like,
It's so visceral in the book. I mean, a lot of the deaths are a lot more visceral in the book, I think, than how they are in the movie.
yeah. I don't care one way or another. I don't have a preference, I would say. I think him literally clawing out his own throat shows like that's like a crazy thing to do. I don't even know if that's possible.
You thought he was crazy?
I don't know.
I thought the movie does a really good job of showing him as troubled.
Okay, yeah.
In the book, he might be crazy. He's kind of crazy in the book.
I guess crazy isn't like, that's not maybe the right word, but it is just like, I feel like he also wants to make friends in the book.
Well, we know he wants to make friends in the
Yeah.
book. That little monologue about, I didn't really have any buddies in school.
Yes, okay, so I'm like getting
That happens in both.
like mixed, like
Yeah.
the book and the movie.
That
because it's been a
absolutely
while.
happens in both.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more sad in the movie. In the book, it seems like
I don't feel
he's...
sad for him.
You don't feel sad for him?
No, because I'm looking at Ray's like expressions, and he's just trying to get out of the conversation. He's like, this guy is on edge.
That doesn't make you sad?
No, because I would also be like staying away from this guy that could just flip
I know
on a
it's
switch.
uncomfortable, but it just makes you sad. Because you, at least for me, it's like, I know what's going to happen.
Okay, well, I'm just like, I would avoid. I don't
you have
like.
it, folks.
He's scary. I think he's scary.
I just feel bad for him. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't feel bad for people like that. I don't know.
I mean, you can definitely have empathy.
I don't know.
But it makes sense why people don't like him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm not saying we should like him. I'm just saying that he's kind of a tragic story.
Yeah.
I guess they're all tragic stories.
They're all tragic, but not all of them, cause somebody to get shot. Although that guy probably shouldn't have started swinging.
Yeah,
Kind of let his emotions get the better of him.
And in the movie, he very much like screams at him like, get up, get up. He doesn't really do that in the book, does he? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But
But
in the
then
movie,
he jumps over that guy who's having like a seizure or something.
That's true, freak.
So that's what I'm like, I don't know. He might not like being blamed for things, but he does cause things.
Well, and that's the thing, and this is the whole thing about the rat race, is it's like none of them want bad things to happen to the other, but they know that literally for their survival, there must be bad things that happen to the others.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's like, and that's the rat race, folks. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, when they're like, we cannot keep saving each other. We have to just let nature take its course. Because at that point, like, McFreeze had saved Ray twice. And then Ray had also saved McFreeze at some point. Because, like I said, McFreeze isn't perfect. Like they make him out to be
he is not.
In the film.
Well, I don't think he's perfect in the film either.
Well,
I
no.
think that he is strong-willed. I feel like I
That's
like
a
that
good word.
actor a lot. Have you watched Industry?
I have not. I saw him in Alien Romulus though, and he was
Oh,
great.
I never saw it.
He was so good as like an android. Yeah.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
I'm obviously he's good, but like I wanted to keep an eye on type thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I the whole thing where it's not in the book obviously because I don't think he's a person of color in the book. Is he? Do they say?
I don't know because constantly, and this is something that Stephen King just kept describing, is the fact that he had like the white scar glistened on his dark skin.
Maybe he is a person of color.
Maybe, or he's very tan. I don't know, but he just kept describing it that way. I'm like, can we not use any other descriptions? Like, we get it. He has a white scar on his face.
Yeah, but in the movie, like, there's that beat where I forget where he's talking to Garrity, and he's like, I've been walking my whole life, or he says something along the lines of like, just keep walking, like you've been walking for 2 days or whatever. I've been walking my whole life. I've been walking my whole life. Like keep walking, and I felt like that is important characterization that is not in the book, that is in the movie, that to me shaped out his overwhelming positivity with like you understand why he is the way he is a lot more just from that one line.
Yeah, and especially with his backstory and stuff. Yeah, well, I wanted to point that out because people might have totally different views of what these characters are, and then when you go in the book, you might be surprised that like their dynamics are different.
I think if you watch the movie first, don't know anything about the book, and then go read the book, you will hate it.
I don't know. Some people are going into it and liking it.
Really?
That's what I've been seeing on TikTok. So
all right,
I don't know. But yeah, it would be a tough recommend for me if I'm like, oh, you like these characters? Don't read the book.
Yeah.
I guess kind of bouncing off what we were just talking about. Like McFreeze and Ray aren't always like buddy throughout the long walk. Like they break off. They have arguments, disagreements. Like Ray will leave and like talk to other people. Like I feel like it's not just them together all the time. And so that kind of also shows like the flaws within these characters.
Yeah, and this is one of the things about structuring this movie that I personally had qualms with is there's not like B storylines. You're not like cutting away and seeing what's happening over here at the same time as over here because it's all inconsequential. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. I'm not saying that someone else who adapted this couldn't figure out a way to maybe get, Scram talking to this person that, and just kind of make it more of a more drama, honestly, than as opposed to it to me, it really is talking heads. And okay, I know, you know, the criticism of that is like, Sam, they're literally walking. I know, but it really is just Garrity having conversations with people as opposed to escalating drama. Like their circumstances do escalate literally because they're walking and things get worse for them. But in terms of the way the story flows, like you're pointing out with McVrees and Garrity, it's like in the book, like there's more ebb and flow with that relationship, and you go into Garrity's head and then he's having conversations. In the movie, it's a straight shot, you know?
That's fair. They're also like are fighting the elements a lot more in the book. Like they are going up more hills than just the one. They're dealing with rain, extreme heat. I think they kind of glossed over the fact that he literally lost his shoes. Like that was a major jaw-dropping moment in the book where you're like, oh my God, he's screwed. He has to get rid of his shoes now.
Yeah, how is he gonna do this?
How is he gonna keep going? And then they kind of like they still have that in the film, but it's not like this pressing like tension. And you like see the mom screaming like, your feet. But other than that, he doesn't seem like that much different.
Bloody. You know, I will say my theater gasped when he took off his shoes.
Okay.
But also, my theater laughed at many of the people dying. I do have to say, some of you guys, of you guys have weird senses of humor. No, but really, I think that, and this is one of my overall criticisms of it is, I don't think tonally it resonated with audiences, and not en masse. Like, obviously, if you look at Letterboxd right now, a lot of people really did like this, and it did resonate with a lot of people. But I was really surprised and honestly uncomfortable when people would like laugh at certain deaths and certain things that would happen in my theater. Like, that's why we had obviously had different experiences. You cried. Like, I heard multiple people laughing.
Had very different theater experiences. I didn't
Burbank
cry.
AMC.
Shout out.
Shout out.
You guys are twisted. But no, when I went the first time, I didn't cry, but I was like genuinely like shocked at the violence. Even obviously I knew what was gonna happen, but I was still like, oh my God, seeing it in person. It left me like, I went with a friend and she was the one that teared up a bit.
What time did you go?
I went the Thursday, like it came out at like 7:30 or something.
I went at like 11 p.m. on like a Tuesday.
Okay.
Also might have had an impact on the people that were in that room.
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, once you get after 10, it's kind of like, you know.
Yeah. You get the weirdos.
Yeah. Well, hey. Okay, I was in that theater. Hang on. I'm sticking to my AMC. Go on.
Yeah, the reactions from people were like gasping and, you know, being shocked at the right moments. And then then at the end of the movie, like me and my friend didn't talk for a while because we were like processing it.
I love when I see a movie like that.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And that's why I really enjoyed it. And then the second time I watched it with my mom, she started crying when Baker died, like actually full on crying he's like with the bloody nose and he's like, don't look. He was a good
actor too.
He was great. He's like, don't look at me when they do it. Like, take this to my grandma. Like, she started crying, and I don't know. I think I'm hoping it's just your theater because that was not my experience.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know that takes somebody out of it. Is the movie ultimately rated R?
I don't know. I didn't check.
I feel like it could not be.
What? I feel like it has to be.
No, I'm sure it is. Yeah, but I feel like it could. Just me personally.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as horny as the book is, but they...
I don't have any internet. I don't know why I did
they do... McVrees does talk about having blue balls, and it's
like,
I've never been more
parts.
horny than in this moment.
That's in the movie.
Yeah, he does say that, yeah. Let's talk... You want to dive into Ray's dad, which is a character in the film... And kind of in the book.
He's in the book?
Yeah, but he's not
But my understanding is
we don't get a whole backstory.
Yeah, like in the book, it's... Well, in both the movie and book... Well, it's pretty literal in the movie. But in the book, at least, it's like... My dad was basically part of the very low-key resistance. Like, me being Garrity. But
he criticizes the long walk.
Yes.
He takes Garrity as a young boy.
Yeah.
And he's like... You should watch this.
Yeah, he's like, you should see this. You should see how horrible it is. Also, he generally criticizes the government, which makes him kind of a suspicious person of interest. And my understanding, and I did read this like a month ago, but my understanding is like not that they pulled him out into the street and shot him. I'm pretty sure we never actually find out what he just disappeared.
No. So
he
they-
got disappeared by the government.
It describes them as being squatted in the book. We don't know what squatted means, like
Yeah.
joined the squad. I mean, I kind of took it as, oh, he's forced to do like unpaid labor now. That's how I took it. But then in the movie, he just gets
He's
shot by
dragged
the
into the
major.
street and shot by the major himself. Which
Yeah.
I feel it's an important thing. How, like, this one dude is going to people's houses and shooting people in the street, and he runs the long walk. Are you kidding me? They just wanted as much mark in this movie as possible. Like, that's the only explanation for that. Because I'm like, why did the major himself with like 2 other people go to his house? You know?
Well, I mean, they needed. This is something that's in the film and that's not in the book. Is they have to give Ray a reason for wanting to kill the major, which is not a thing in the book.
That's the ending.
We don't know what prize he wants. I don't think he ever describes like what he wants out of the long walk.
Yeah, and like in terms of war metaphor, book is probably stronger. Point for book there, because there's obviously not a prize. There's not a specific prize for being in the war.
No, this glory.
Whereas in the movie, he's like, when I get my wish, I'm killing that guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, even in the book, he stands up and salutes when everyone else does, when the major first appears. Now, I wish they kept that. I wish they would have shown that more of like how these boys are so transfixed by this guy. Like they have such patriotism.
Well, isn't he also not visible the whole time? Like in the movie, he's there. But in the book, I'm pretty sure
He dips out.
Yeah, he
and then
leaves sometimes.
He'll come
Yeah.
back in the major cities for like
right.
the crowds and whatnot. But other than that, he's not there that often.
Which I prefer.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense.
The fact that he's there with them is odd.
Yeah.
Also, this apparently extremely important political figure is just out in the street for 3 days straight. But there's a political resistance and no one's taken him out yet.
I mean, maybe they don't have weapons. I don't know.
Well, obviously the military has guns.
Yeah.
But that's fair. I don't know if we see any civilians with weapons.
But yeah, even like there's a point in the book where Garrity is starting to hate the major like everyone does when you're on the long walk. And he's like, when the major, and I'm totally butchering this because it's been weeks since I've read it, but he's like, when the major comes out, I'm gonna boo, or I'm not gonna salute or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when the major does come, he does salute and he like cheers or whatever, and he does the exact opposite of what he said he was going to do.
Oh my God, there he is.
And I think I think they missed out by not showing like the clear patriotism and the brainwashing.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have worked with the movie's version of Ray, who is in this for a specific purpose, which is killing the major who killed his dad. And he's very anti, the long walk, anti-government regime.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have made total sense. But maybe seeing like the other boys' reaction to the major, I think the only one that stood up and was like, oh my God, the major was the guy that was writing the book in the film. People don't really seem that stoked about the major.
Yeah. Which, and I think that I have to assume that when adapting this book, they were like, Garrity doesn't, in terms of characterization for a movie, like Garrity doesn't really have a clear goal, which is a little problematic for a protagonist. I mean, not everybody needs a goal, but like
in the film?
Or
what
no,
did
in the
you say?
book.
In the book. Okay, yeah.
But in this kind of movie, he kind of does need a goal. So I feel that they kind of pulled a little bit out of Stebbins and gave it to Garrity with, oh, sorry. That sorry was for Joy. In terms of the obsession with the major, because that's not in the book at all. But the only character with a very specific, I'm gonna do this, or like this is what I want with the race in the book is Stebbins, and it has to do with the major. So
he wants to like be invited to his house.
He wants to be invited to his father's
be welcomed
house.
Into his life.
Right. Because otherwise he doesn't have a goal. And so they were,
true.
you know what I mean? So they were like, oh, well, what would a goal be? Killing the major. How would that make any sense? He must have been the one to kill his father. It's a little circular.
It's very much, I feel like surface level. Like, it's kind of like
It's just
we've
literal.
seen
Yeah,
this
exactly.
before, but
It's like, I'm gonna kill the patriarchal figure in front of me. This is, yeah. This
yeah,
is
an eye for an eye.
This is, yeah.
I think it makes sense for a movie protagonist. However, I do kind of like the version in the book where he's just like a regular guy.
It's more realistic.
Yeah, it is more realistic. Not every protagonist is going to be fighting to end the government, you know?
Right. It's kind of a
very
big
Hunger
goal
Games.
for this guy.
Yeah, very Hunger Games. Like,
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk about Olsen a little bit because I feel like how he dies in the book is much more
Olsen? Who's Olsen?
Hank Olsen.
Oh.
I don't think he,
about right
okay,
now?
for starters, I don't think he was that part of the gang in the book.
No. I barely knew who he was in the book.
Yeah. In the film, he's a very talkative, quick-witted character.
Oh, yeah.
In the book, he kind of has that a bit at the beginning, but then pretty soon after, he goes like mute. Like, he just like is so, everyone thinks that any second this guy is gonna just drop dead and die. And like, he seems like he's barely hanging on, but then he does make it pretty far, surprisingly. But yeah, so in the book, he rushes the half track. He climbs aboard, seizes a gun from a sleeping soldier, and shoots the other one, which is what they kind of had Collie Parker do in the film. But then in the book, Hank gets shot in the stomach, which they do when they don't want a quick death. They were like, we want you to suffer for doing this. So his inner organs start spilling out. That's how it's described in the book. And so he's like holding on to his organs and he keeps walking for a few steps. And I'm like, man, I wish we got that.
Right.
Crazy,
That's
like
gore.
visual.
Yeah.
But I get like in the movie, you fall in love with these characters. Maybe you don't want to see his internal organs coming out and it's a gory mess. So I get it, but it was kind of a miss.
You know, just while we're talking about each of the boys, Curly, that actor is Jojo Rabbit, right?
Yeah.
He's so much older now.
I know, it's crazy.
I guess people age.
That's how that works. Yeah.
No, but it is funny. It's like, because I was looking at him and I was like, who is that? Like, I know that guy.
Yeah, and he's like the only one that's underage.
Right.
He lied
This
about...
is how we established in the movie that you have to be 18.
Yeah.
Via Curly.
Yeah, but in the book, it's like 14 to 17 or something.
Which, again, in terms of draft metaphor, makes a lot more sense that you have to be 18 and older and that there were people lying and pretending they were 18, you know? Like, that's pretty one-to-one.
Yeah.
100% not the situation in the book.
So let's talk about how McFreeze gets his scar.
No!
I'm sorry. We have to.
I actually don't remember all of it. I just remember the key detail.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in the film, it's like this pivotal moment where he's describing to Ray, like, I grew up an orphan. I ended up jumping from couch to couch. You know, I was with the wrong crowd. I pulled up on this guy and he ended up stabbing me. And I got the scar and then the scar on my chest and I realized like I wasn't mad at this guy, and he has a whole new outlook on life after this experience. He is just a positive person. In the book, I am also missing key details because it's a long, it's a long explanation. Story.
All you really need to know is that he attempts to essay his girlfriend who he has a difficult relationship with due to financial struggles. Yeah,
so he and his girlfriend skip town. They start working at this pajama factory. She's making more money than him. He's feeling emasculated. He's also pissing everyone off on his crew because he's slowing down the process and therefore slowing down their process, and they're all making less money because of him. So I think he goes to his girlfriend. She's sewing buttons and he's like, we're leaving. And she's like, no, like I have a life here. I have a career here. Screw you. At some point, they live separately from each other with a bunch of roommates. So at some point he goes to her place. He feels like he's losing her. He tries to essay her. She stabs him with I forget what it was.
But yeah, she stabs him in the face with a letter opener. Whoa.
letter opener. And then I don't remember much besides that.
Well, they're not together anymore.
No, he was
Obviously.
like, I know she's wanting to leave me because I'm a pathetic excuse of a man. So,
And if there's one way to differentiate McVrees in the book and movie, it's this.
yes.
This is the person we're talking about when we're like, oh, they really make him a nice guy in the movie. That's because we're talking about
Yeah.
that guy. But, you know, and this is where it's like, this is the whole, like, I'm now a removed person from this, I am a removed person from this narrative, so I can read that story and be like, I'm sure there's a lot of men who, you know, have those feelings. And, like that, it's, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not important, especially for his characterization. So,
I mean, I think it does a decent job of pointing out like he is in the wrong. Very
Yes.
much. Every step of the way he has been in the wrong.
and a cultural attitude towards relationships and money.
Yeah. Yeah, like she's doing well for herself. He's
Right.
not. That doesn't mean that they both can't have careers in
But,
this
yeah.
space. But because
he
he
can't handle
physically
it.
sees her doing better
Yeah.
in the same environment, it hits a sore spot for him. But yeah, and as a result of this, he goes into a depression, and that's what leads him to sign up for the long walk. In the film, I don't really know why he signs up besides he wants money. I think that's like the core reason why most of these people do sign up
money.
is because of everybody's broke, which I think is a good addition, because I feel like a lot of people would question, like, why would anyone sign up for this? You need like a real reason, like, oh, everybody's struggling.
Well, but in the movie, there's that soliloquy about nobody really signs up.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously,
I liked
that's
that.
important. I mean,
liked
and I
it.
think that's like true for the draft currently. Like, if you're a young man and if you sign up for FAFSA today, you have to sign up for the draft. So,
True.
like, I think there's like truth to that overall, which again is really heavy on the whole war thing, even more than the book is, which is such a weird thing to say. But you
I
know
know.
what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And I think they're definitely trying to make it speak to a modern audience with a lot of the lines the Major says at the beginning.
Yeah.
Specifically when he's talking about, we have like a lazy culture and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, we know what type of people he's represents, basically. So I think I did like those additions for sure. All right, let's talk about the ending. In the book,
Oh yes.
in the book, it comes down to Stebbins and Ray. They are the final two.
McVrees, like,
walkers.
sits down.
McVrees
McVrees.
just he dies by just deciding to sit down.
Which kind of is in the movie. Not McVrees, but that's
Stebbins just gives up.
well, no, but Garrity just sits down in the movie.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, they definitely take different elements from different characters and kind of spread them around.
Which is fair because they're all just faceless boys. And isn't that
True.
what the book is about? America. How
American boys. That's what the long walk is about.
If it were war and America, boys
War,
drafted,
money,
gotta keep walking.
power.
That's the book. That's my non-spoiler review.
Here we go.
How long are we into this podcast? Hour and a half? All right. That's my non-spoiler review.
Yeah, an hour and a half non-spoiler review. Perfect.
After all of the spoilers.
Let's start the episode now. But yeah, so now that's what happens in the book. In the film, it comes down to McVrees and Ray, which is really sad because they do make a point of like, oh, I wish like two people would win. That would be my wish, is that two people could win.
Right.
Which,
So you can make a friend along the way.
yeah, and I did like how that was talked about a bit in the book, where they were like, it's really shitty to be the second to last person because you've made it so far and there's just one person left. And I'm like, yeah, that would suck. It's something I didn't consider, but that would suck.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly, it's like you might as well be the first one to go.
Exactly. It's like making it that far only to die. That would suck. Anyway, so it comes down to Ray and McVrees. First, Ray stops. No, first no. McVree stops first. And then Ray's like, no, we got to keep going.
Right.
We got to keep going. It's raining. There's crowds everywhere cheering.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And then he gets Ray to keep walking. And then, God, I'm getting the names. He's getting McVree's to keep walking. And then Ray goes back. And he sits down. And he sacrifices himself for McVree's to live.
Yeah.
He gets shot. McVree's screaming, crying.
Yeah. Everyone's cheering because they're like, we have a winner.
Yeah.
And what's nice about this is I don't think the emotion of it, of what it all means in the book is hit as hard. Whereas in the movie, like, you really get to experience the grief, the instant grief that McVree's has to experience in contrast to the joy that everyone around him feels.
Yes.
At it, you know, it's a lot more, it's not explored at all, is it, in the book?
The grief? No. I don't feel like it hit as hard for me.
Just kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so McVree's goes back. He's crying over Garrity. Garrity's like, I couldn't see the light, but you can.
Yeah, go
I
on.
love you, Pete. And then he gets shot by the major himself. So, like, father, like son. Basically, violence continues.
Between generations.
I did like where he's talking to McVree after he sees his mom, and he's like, I did what my dad did to me and my mom. Like, I regret this whole thing. Like, he regrets it.
Some of y'all should take note.
He regrets making this choice. He's like, I did this to my mom, and I just want to go home, and I thought that was pretty powerful. But anyway, so he's like, McVree's, you see the light, but I can't. You deserve to live. But McVree's does not see the light.
McVree's seizes the day. McVree's carpies that diem.
Yeah.
And said, give me that gun.
Yeah, give me that Glock.
Give me that Glock. It's not a Glock, is it? What is it?
No, I don't know. I don't know gun names. But he basically does Ray's plan, original plan, which is to get a gun at that very moment and shoot. He shoots the major. Dead. Major's dead, and then the crowd's gone. And then McVree just keeps walking down the street. And then the movie ends. And my mom was like, what the heck just happened? And I was like, he's dead. He died. That's why everyone's gone. The crowd's gone. They would have immediately shot him after killing the major.
Yeah.
Now, there was a deleted scene, which it was an ending that did not test well with audiences. Ooh. Which had the figure that is in the book. Like, you know...
Wait.
So, I guess I should explain. In the book, Ray is the one that is the final one. He's the survivor.
Which... Can I say it? Why?
Why would he be the survivor?
Yeah.
Because he's the main character.
That is not a good enough reason. And this is one of my issues with the book, is, like, there is nothing about Ray that makes him... like, maybe that's the point of all, like, that
exactly.
The justice is random, but still, it's like, in terms of story, it's like, why? He actually has more reason to lose than other people, as established in the beginning, because he is not very strong.
He doesn't have, like, a main goal to keep him going.
Right. It's like, so why... And what is, maybe that's the point. Stephen King coming in the comments going, that's actually the point.
I think that is the point.
But I just think it's unrealistic. It's realistic that he would be in that race, but not that he would win.
Yeah, I mean, I like both endings. I don't mind. I think they pointed out in the film, like, it, maybe I'm getting it confused with the book. I don't know. How it doesn't matter how athletic you are, how built, how trained, it literally is just in your head. I think McVree's talks about it in the film. He's like, it's what's up here that keeps you going. Now, the Ray lasting as long as he did in the film made sense. Maybe not so much in the book, because he didn't really have a drawing, like something keeping him going, any motivation. But I think that still kind of stands, like, for any player, anyone that's in the long walk. It's like, you can try to train all you want. You could try to prepare as much as you want, but if your brain starts going, you're gone.
Yeah.
And I think that was...
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth,
that's
right?
Just any
that's just
rat
life.
race.
That's just life when you think about it.
If you're, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about the book ending, which is Ray is the survivor. Stebbins just kind of
gives up,
gives up and dies.
Whatever. Seems weird considering he has a real reason.
I know. He kind of...
See, if I was Stebbins...
Stephen King kind of wrapped it up real quick. He's like, I don't know. I've had these kids die in so many ways. I can't think of anything else. So he's just going to claw at Garrity and then die. So Garrity keeps walking. The Major grabs his shoulder and is like, you won, son. And then Ray kind of just shoves him off and then keeps walking because he sees like a figure in the distance. But yeah, so Garrity sees this figure in the distance and he just keeps on walking. And that's how the book ends. You could take it as he's probably going to die, or he is just he's insane. Obviously, he's lost his mind. He keeps walking. We don't know what happens to him after that point. Now they kind of, in the original ending, they kind of incorporated that where McVrees sees the figure in the distance and keeps walking, but they ended up taking that out. I feel like that would have been too confusing for people. For me, the figure was like represented, like maybe he's seeing his dad or something. Like he's seeing someone that he wants to get to in the book. In the film, I don't think it would have made any sense.
Disagree. I think it would have made sense in the film because I think it would have been Garrity.
Oh, like he's seeing Garrity in the... Oh.
Because he did just die.
That would be cute.
You know what I mean?
He's like a Force ghost.
He's like, I'm already here, buddy.
He's just Garrity, but in blue. You know what I mean? You've seen Star Wars.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, even like, yeah.
But yeah, so that's how the movie and the film are different with their endings.
I very much prefer the ending of the movie.
You do.
And I've been telling everyone I know that. I think the ending of the movie is better.
Because I think somebody pointed out on TikTok, they were like, this movie was so close to making McVrees like the, I don't know what the trope is, like the magical black person trope.
That's true.
I don't know if that's what it is, but like where it's just like the black person, the black character who is helping the white character on their journey. And I was worried it was going to be that.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And then the ending flips that on its head. It's like, no.
Exactly.
It's his story, actually.
And thank goodness. That's literally why I liked the ending. Is because I was so expecting that it was going to be the same ending as the book where McVrees gives up. And I was like, oh, God.
That would have sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. But because they didn't do that, because, you know, and also, like, truthfully, when I watched the movie, I want him to win. I'm going to be honest. I wanted him to win.
You wanted McVrees to win?
Yep.
Yeah.
I agreed with Garrity. I was like, you don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Damn.
Let McVrees keep going.
I mean, yeah, I think, like I said, I liked both. I think the movie ending worked for the movie, and I also think the book ending worked for the book. So I was satisfied with both.
I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. End of sentence.
Okay. I know a lot of people, I was reading comments. I'm getting a lot of long walk TikToks lately.
Clearly.
So people were like, Stephen King is bad with endings. And I'm wondering if you feel the same way. Because I don't know. I never thought of it that way.
I've never reflected on that.
Yeah. It's something to think about as we continue on his on his books.
Well, like, I like the ending of The Shining.
Yeah, I agree. We had a lot of things that we preferred from the book.
Misery.
Over the film.
How does Misery end?
Misery, he's talking to the cops. Yeah, and he's describing this. The cops are like looking at him like, this guy is messed up. He is messed up.
Can we put out there that maybe this book just isn't the strongest Stephen King work? Maybe that's why the ending isn't good.
I mean, he was 19. This was the first thing he wrote.
Like maybe this one in particular is just a little weaker, you know.
I will say, as someone who reads a lot of horror, obviously you do now, but like as someone who's read a lot of horror, it's very common where like the buildup is more interesting than the ending. I was surprised when people were saying like, oh, this ending sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, normally if I didn't enjoy the rest of the book, then yeah, I probably would have been disappointed with the ending. Like, oh, I wasted all this time. I don't even know what's going to happen next. But since I was satisfied with the rest of the book, then I didn't mind having an ending that was open-ended, basically.
Yeah, I didn't I don't know. I don't know if I would be like bad ending.
No, I don't. That's what I saw people saying. I don't know if it's the general consensus, but I know for me, like if a horror novel it is long, this wasn't a long book by any means,
Yeah,
but like
it was. If you were me, that was a long book.
I didn't feel like it
A
was
long
long.
walk and a long book.
But
I
like,
remember, sorry, I have to say this. When I was in like chapter 4, I was like, dang, they're still walking.
dude, that's the.
And I was like, oh no.
Oh my god! Yeah, I don't know why it
Imagine
worked.
being me reading this book.
I don't know why it worked
Yeah.
more for me.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
I have a couple questions.
No.
Well, not this versus that yet. But one thing I wanted to ask is in an interview I watched for the cast, they were asked what you would take on the long walk if you could bring one thing.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably food.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people didn't bring food. You know what? I want to talk about this because I think this shows how, as a society, boys and men are coddled by their moms.
Oh, how all the boys bring food that their mom makes for them? Is that where we're going with this?
But also that Garrity did not plan to bring anything except his mom hands him cookies
Well,
before.
in the
And
book,
I'm like,
he's 16. Then again, when I was 16, I was making lunch. So.
that's what I'm just like, there's only a couple people that are really well prepared and everybody kind of makes fun of them for it. And I'm like,
They're
you
like
guys are about
losers with
to
food.
die and you've procrastinated this much.
Probably yeah. For me, probably a jacket. Oh, if it's one thing, food.
Okay.
To survive.
Yeah.
Anything
That's
beyond
what I'm
that?
saying. That's common sense right there.
Have you
It's to
seen those
pack
pants
food.
that like you can turn into shorts? That's what I would wear.
Oh, that's
You know what I mean?
that's good.
Or have you seen? There's that one girl. I don't know. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's this person with a business where you can like it's like a big long jacket and then you can zip it off halfway through and then you can turn it into a bag.
Okay.
I don't know what her name is, but like I've seen this around and I think I would bring that on the long walk.
Yeah.
Utility.
No, that's good.
Maybe a pocket knife so I can shank people on the side.
I think you would be killed immediately. That's
They
not
couldn't
allowed.
get me.
They know.
I'm not killing them. I'm just getting on their nerves.
Oh my god. And then Sam would be out immediately.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I like Barkovich. I'm like, what did you do wrong?
He just made the long walk less long.
Listen.
The long walk slightly
in
less
a dark
long, yeah.
way, in a bleak way.
He did help Ray out.
He helped a lot of people out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so what would I bring? I would probably bring like a phone and Bluetooth earphones to
that
listen
would
to
die
music.
in like a day.
Okay, then also a battery.
It's one thing. You can't bring 3 things.
That's true. Darn it.
One thing.
Oh my god,
Can't
the
be food.
Kindle.
Your Kindle.
Yeah. I would download a bunch of books. Actually, I would probably only get through like one.
You walk in,
'cause
you're
it's
reading.
like that's what I would do in PE, actually. When we
Yeah.
would have to walk the mile, I would just have my book and I would just read.
Yeah.
So that's what I would bring.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. What do you prefer? The book or
Movie.
the Okay.
I literally can't remember the last time I have felt that way.
Wow.
And so aggressively.
Yeah,
Anyway,
wow.
you?
I would also say the film because I will definitely be revisiting it more than the book. But like I said, one of my favorite Stephen King novels. As someone who
Really?
doesn't like Stephen King that much.
That's insane. You know, that's insane. Folks, I don't know what to say. I was going to be
just
like,
as
read us and let us
surprised
know,
as
but I don't
you.
think you should read it. So I don't know what to say.
It was just a surprise. I will say the audiobook narrator is pretty good.
Yeah. Did your
So-
audiobook have that intro explaining Buchanan?
It did, but I skipped it.
You skipped it?
Yeah. So do you have any news to share?
It was really interesting. It
Okay.
was just more in depth about how he created this kind of alter ego author and how upset he was when it got leaked.
Right.
That
I should have I should have looked into
It
more
was
of
really
that.
interesting because I didn't know any of that.
But yeah.
Um.
And he's like, this author died, and
Yes.
maybe
Yeah.
there'll be more books that they find of him.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Maybe I did read it. That is ringing a bell. now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's one of the things I thought it was really interesting. Anyway.
This versus that.
Yay! My favorite. Okay, what are we doing? What's for that?
Scram versus Hank Olsen.
I don't even remember who Hank Olsen is. Scram.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Scram had more of an impact
Scram
on
is,
you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I feel like they should have introduced Scram more in the book, like earlier on.
I agree.
Because he did kind of come out of nowhere and then die out of nowhere.
Well, he came out of nowhere, and it seemed like he was the most important person for a while, and then he went away. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he was a star, and he burned out bright quick.
True.
You know?
Right quick, yep. I would say, I think I am... This is hard.
It is not.
Well, I would say Hank. Because I think the actor did a good job.
Oh,
and he was more memorable.
Oh, you're just like... Well,
because I did this versus that because...
because
Hank
of the character.
essentially became Scram in the film.
So Scram in the book versus Hank in the movie.
Yes.
I see. Well, Hank is memorable in the movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Despite what I've said. Despite what I've alleged the rest of this podcast.
Not
Hank
as
is
memorable in the
movie.
book.
But I do like Scram in the book.
Okay.
That's the this is, just to go back to book or movie, like, that's the thing, is it's like, overall, I prefer the movie because I really like the ending of the movie. But the things that I like about the book, I really liked.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of how we felt about The Shining. Is like, we liked the film, but the things we liked about the book, we really liked and wished were included in the film. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. No shoes versus no food.
No food.
Okay.
What about you?
God, that would suck.
It sucks either way.
I know.
You're dying either way. It's like, how early do you want to die?
I think I would do no shoes.
No shoes.
You need food.
You do, but like, no shoes. You're climbing up mountains barefoot.
Yeah. Ugh, that would suck.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather...
Yeah.
Because you can bum food off people.
That's true. If somebody drops, I would
And
just
that
take
happens in the book and movie.
Mm-hmm.
Gary to give someone food.
Yeah. Last question. Would you rather have to piss or shit on a long walk?
That cannot be a real question. That cannot be a real question.
Now, this is hard.
For me as a lady?
That's what I'm saying. In the movie, they could just whip it out and go,
I'm still... What? What?
In the movie, going pee is much easier
poop on a long walk?
as a guy.
No. Are you, Tessa Nelson, are you...
In both situations, you would have to squat. It would suck.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, like, urine dried... Like I would...
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay. You can live with that. I'm not taking off my pants on the long walk.
So you would just pee and then...
Well, I'd probably die. Let's be honest. So I probably wouldn't get very far into this experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just pee, yeah.
Okay.
What would you do?
You could use a canteen. You could empty a canteen.
How are you doing that?
Pee in the canteen.
You're putting it in your
and
pants?
be like, hey, soldiers, new canteen for me. They ask for canteens in the book.
You're hearing this, right? Like, what is she talking about?
they get new canteens in the book and movie. They can get free water anytime.
Yeah. But
So
how
you
are
just
you... No, I
empty
want you
your
to explain to me.
canteen,
And what are you doing?
pee in the canteen.
No, you're skipping a lot of key details there. How are you peeing in the canteen?
You're walking.
That's all I wanted to see. All right, let's move on to the next question.
Do a little crab walk.
But at that point, just take off your pants. You know what I mean?
But then the pants... I don't know.
Like, if the concern is... Yeah. Do it in a skirt. Oh, but me personally, I'm not doing the long walk in a skirt.
No. Oh,
It's a good thought.
chafing.
Yeah, that would not be fun. Scored.
See, this is why you
True.
go in prepared. This is why
if you have to poop,
I want to see a long walk
you're
with.
so good.
I want to see a long walk with only women because this is the stuff they would actually think about going in.
There wouldn't be a long walk with women. We wouldn't allow that to happen.
Well, no, but I'm just saying it would be
Wouldn't
interesting.
get that far.
I wonder if there's like fan fictions of that because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like we'd figure it out.
Yeah,
we'd figure it out. Okay, those are my this versus that's.
Very cool.
Thank you for joining us this episode. Hope you enjoyed our conversation on the long walk. Next episode, we're going to be diving into War of the Worlds. We're only going to be covering the new 2025 version. We're going to have a special guest.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be the best guest ever.
Yeah.
You guys are so excited for this guest. I know you are.
So yeah, read the book if you want or not. Watch the movie on Prime. And don't get it confused with the 2005 Tom Cruise version. That's not the one we're covering.
Although I did
Much
watch
to
that.
the disappointment of my friends. That's not the one we're covering. So anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.